Good evening, friends of Albania. We welcome you once again to our Ora News broadcast. It is now time for our daily English Flash News edition. As regular, I'm Daniel Cook, your host, Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. In today's news, last night the United States Ambassador, Mr. Alexander Arvizu, was invited to the Ora News television station. The president of the television station, Mr. Ylli Ndroçi, as well as the directors of several departments, welcomed the U.S. ambassador to the station. It was the first time the ambassador has visited our station since the new investments were made. He made the statement that unlike the other media outlets, Ora News is an unbiased television channel. The United States ambassador then appeared as a guest on the Ora News show, Tonight Il Vatare, for nearly 90 minutes. The ambassador was critical toward the current head of state and the current government because of some decisions that he does not believe have been transparent. During his interview, Mr. Arvizu also criticized the opposition for their long boycott of the Parliamentary Assembly. Above all, he stated that the former Albanian dictator, Enver Hoxha, was a monster, and that the display of his image is a provocation to almost every Albanian. Even though he had many critical words, the ambassador had some encouragement to give as well. He praised the work that has been done so far by the current government. However, he added that the Prime Minister Edi Rama and the head of the parliament, Ilir Meta, must think about some of the decisions that they have made recently, which according to him have not been transparent. While addressing the economic situation, Ambassador Arvizu said that the previous government primarily carries the responsibility for this situation. He said, "I have nothing against the former Minister of Finance or some of the other deputies of the Democratic Party. But I cannot help but ask myself, how can they have so many complaints when they have contributed to this economic situation? If it is not your responsibility, then whose is it?" said the United States ambassador to Albania. During his interview, Mr. Arvizu encouraged the opposition to return to Parliament, saying that this boycott is damaging the country. Today marks the 70th anniversary of the liberation of the Albanian town of Lezhë. The head of the parliament and the Minister of Defense were both present at the ongoing celebrations. Appearing without any portraits of the former Albanian dictator, Enver Hoxha, and without any red scarves, the head of the parliament said that the war for liberation and its eventual success cannot be attributed to a single man. According to the Minister of Defense, today is an occasion to honor those who gave their lives for the freedom of this town. 2 days ago, during the 70th anniversary of the liberation of Tirana, some of the participants displayed pictures of the former Albanian dictator, Enver Hoxha. Among other negative effects, this brought a reaction from the United States ambassador to Albania. Today, the head of the parliament and the Minister of Defense distanced themselves from these problems. The head of the Democratic Party, Lulzim Basha, is now even more convinced that his party has made the right decisions during the past year. His meetings in Brussels and the resolution released by the EPP yesterday have convinced Mr. Basha that the Democratic Party, even more so, has acted rightly. He made this comment: "The resolution of the European People's Party confirms that our political battles were the right thing to do." He added that the boycott of the parliament is also the right thing and that they do not intend to end it. He urged the Prime Minister and the head of Parliament to think about their actions and to change their course. According to him, these decisions that have been made by the government come at very high cost to the Albanian people. Yesterday, the European People's Parties requested that the majority stop its attempts to control the independent institutions and to follow the decisions that have been made by the judiciary. The European People's Parties also urged the European Commission and the European Parliament to closely monitor the situation in Albania and to take the proper measures in order to ease the political crisis that is currently in effect. Today, for the very first time, the Albanian people can view the photos of the killer, Julian Sinanaj. He is responsible for several crimes that have shocked the Albanian public. Today, under heavy guard, Sinanaj appeared before the court, along with the others who are accused of cooperation in his crimes. This is the very first time that Julian Sinanaj has been caught on camera since his arrest. Up to this point, the media have only been allowed to publish a small image of him. The court hearing for the so-called TNT gang has been postponed in its very first session. The prosecutors in this case have accused Sinanaj of a double homicide and also for a series of attempted murders using explosives. His accomplices are also faced with a series of charges involving murder and attempted murder. For years now, the second-level banks of Albania have been giving out very unfavorable loans, causing great damage to the citizens who borrow from them. The economic specialists are saying that the banking system in Albania is shrouded in deep corruption, and that has placed a heavy burden on the shoulders of the citizens. One of the banking experts made the following statement about the level of corruption in the second-level banking system. Second-level banks have given a great number of loans without following the proper procedures, and this is a direct consequence of corruption. These banks knew that some of these loans would result in default, but despite this fact, they have decided to approve them anyway. The banking specialists also share another concern, and that is the unfair level of profit by these banks. In many cases now, people have complained about the strict conditions set by the banks when it comes to repayment of loans. They say that most of the time, costs are extremely high and rise to unaffordable levels very quickly. Today, the Boluku family has said a final farewell to one of their sons, who was among the victims of the recent flooding. The young man was tragically killed after a bridge in Laçi collapsed underneath him because of the violent flood. The inhabitants of the Laçi area want the state to rebuild the collapsed bridge in order to avoid any further tragedies. The image before you shows the family trying to transport the body across the river using a large vehicle. And clearly, this is something that is very difficult and dangerous. After a few moments, the vehicle became stuck in the river, and all the passengers were forced to get out. The head of the commune of Laçi said that he is waiting for additional funds to be sent by the government in order to repair the bridge. After the recent floods and the accidents and damage that they have caused, several villages of Albania are looking to protect themselves from future floods. 7 villages of the commune of Nova Sela in Vlora are at risk in case of future flooding. The head of the commune stated that he has informed the proper institutions of these risks, but that so far he has not received an answer. He says that the problem that these villages are facing continues to be unsolved. Ever since Monday, the vehicles that are being used for pumping water have not been in working order because of the lack of electricity. As a consequence, 30 acres of land are currently underwater. For years now, one of the primary roads in the city of Durrës has been in catastrophic condition. The inhabitants of the area are requesting that the government finally fix this road and to solve the travel difficulties that they face each and every day. Originally, this was supposed to be the road that would present the touristic values of Durrës, but unfortunately, it has become exactly the opposite, driving people away from the city. Full of holes and garbage, this 500-meter road takes tourists to one of the most visited locations in the city, the mansion of King Zog. The patience of the people has reached its end. One of the locals says that he is willing to wander the streets all day long in order to get signatures on a petition to fix this road. Nearly 500 taxi drivers protested today against what they are calling the triumph of informality. Taxi meters for all or for no one was the mantra of the protest. Members of the Union of Taxi Drivers addressed the police directory, but the directory responded that this situation is not within their power to resolve. After that, the protesters addressed the Interior Ministry and the municipality. They asked the municipality to change taxes in this category and to sign an agreement with the representatives of the union. If their complaints are not met, they promise to continue and increase their protests. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all the news for this evening. We thank you for watching. Please join us again tomorrow for more Albanian news in English, right here on the same channel. Thank you and good night.